First out of the groove of 2021, and Kyle Larson still has not announced any new sponsors. Another NASCAR Cup Series star enters into the Rolex 24, and a long-forgotten NASCAR underdog team is back, sort of. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove. It's a new year, but it's the same old Out of the Groove, more or less. We've got some exciting things to announce here in the coming weeks before the NASCAR regular season begins. So this is my announcement that I will soon have a much bigger announcement. And the scenery is going to change very soon. Yes, I am in the process of moving yet again. Those of you who've watched the channel for a long time know that, especially during the 4 years I was in college, moving was happening all the time. Every 4, 5, 6 months, I was moving from dorms to apartments to back to my parents to Florida to Los Angeles to Austin to everywhere in between. We've been moving a lot the last few years, and 2021 may be a new year, but some things do not change, so I'm moving once again. So the scenery is going to change. That's all I'm saying. And that's not the big announcement. That's part of it, but I have some other exciting announcements very soon. Out of the Groove is expanding. That's all I'm going to say right here, right now. We have some things to catch up on, though, because I have not done a standard Out of the Groove episode in a number of days since last year. Last year jokes. We're rolling right into it, aren't we? This last week was full of little NASCAR stories that we haven't talked about yet on this show. Let's start with the Wood Brothers. The Wood Brothers announced last week that they have purchased Archie St. Hilaire's portion of the charter that the Wood Brothers have been using to field a full-time entry since 2017. Archie St. Hilaire, of course, is the owner of Go Fast Racing. Go Fast announced just a few months ago that they will be shrinking their operation and will only run a part-time schedule in 2021. Archie, of course, is selling all of his charters, including the portions that Go Fast Racing was using, and also this portion that he'd been renting sort of to the Wood Brothers last few years. Now the Wood Brothers own the entirety of that charter. Some people forget, the Wood Brothers have been in NASCAR longer than pretty much anyone, but between 2007 and 2015, Wood Brothers raced part-time. So when NASCAR switched to the current charter system in 2016, the Wood Brothers were not eligible for one of those charters. But like I said, since 2017, they have had a charter in partnership with Archie St. Hilaire from Go Fast. Now they are the sole owners of that charter. They released a short statement. Wood Brothers Racing has purchased the remaining interests in GGRWB LLC, the holder of the NASCAR charter the number 21 Mustang has used since 2017. We look forward to 2021 and want to thank Archie for being such a great partner. Matt DiBenedetto is back with the team for a second season, but we already know that come 2022, it will be Austin Cindric making his full-time Cup Series debut in that race car. Team Penske has already said that Austin Cindric will run a select number of Cup Series races this year, presumably for Team Penske since they're only a 3-car operation, but I don't know, that is at least of interest to the Wood Brothers as well. We don't know what races those may be at this point. We don't know how many races. We don't know what team or car number Cindric may be driving, but the Team Penske Wood Brothers relationship is going to get very interesting over the next 2 seasons. I want to talk about some things I've seen on social media in the last 24 hours or so. Bubba Wallace posted a photo yesterday of his racing helmet designed by R-Star Design with the door dash colors and the Toyota logo prominently featured. The helmet looks nice. 2311 Racing has been announcing things in phases. First, of course, they announced their existence. Then they briefly showed us what the car may look like with that generic 2311 Racing paint scheme. Then they announced their sponsors. Now they're showing us a glimpse of what the helmet may look like. I'm really excited to see that first wave of paint schemes. What's the DoorDash car going to look like? What's the Dr. Pepper car going to look like? McDonald's? They got some pretty exciting brands to work with. I hope those cars look nice. The helmet looks fantastic. I hope the paint schemes live up to the expectations this is now set for them. And speaking of paint scheme designs, I saw a tweet this week from Seth Sharp on Twitter pointing out how NASCAR paint schemes have changed from the 90s in this example to today. He says, bring back colors, bring back simplicity. And you look at these two photos side by side and he's got a point. Sure, many of these paint schemes are super simple, but the colors absolutely pop and they're extremely recognizable from hundreds of yards, sometimes a mile away if you're watching a race from the stands. Compare this to Talladega. This looks like it was from 2019, but a lot of these paint schemes very, just not super memorable. I love the Sunny D car out front. The Monster Energy car catches your attention. The Busch Beer car looks all right, but further back, that Dent Wizard car, what's going on there? The Miller Lite car for Brad Keselowski's okay, but it was nicer when it was that metallic blue that Rusty Wallace or Kurt Busch used to drive. That's just my opinion at least, but there's a reason you see retro NASCAR becoming a style, 90s NASCAR, early 2000s NASCAR was a total trend for a while there. It may still be, honestly. I love crazy paint schemes from time to time, but I also love big, bright colors, and I don't know, he's got a point there. Anyway, that's a total sidetrack, but I mentioned it was something I saw on social media the last couple days. Another thing I noticed are posts Hendrick Motorsports made, for the last several weeks, several months really, ever since it was announced Kyle Larson was going to go to Hendrick Motorsports. A lot of fans have questioned the move purely from a financial standpoint. Like, how can you sign Kyle Larson when it's unclear if he's going to bring in any outside sponsorship? Isn't that going to be a net loss for Hendrick Motorsports? I don't know Hendrick Motorsports' finances. Maybe it will be. Maybe this is a long-term gamble. I don't know. But for weeks at this point, one of the most frequently asked questions I get from you all is, will Kyle Larson land any sponsors before the season starts? Are there any potential companies you think would be a good fit for Kyle Larson and Hendrick? And I don't get to make those decisions. I've been telling y'all for a while, just relax. I think Kyle Larson's still going to get top-notch equipment from Hendrick. They're not going to sandbag and give him lesser equipment because he's not bringing as many sponsorship dollars. That's not what's going to happen next year. He's going to have a shot to win races and a championship. So I'm inclined to reassure people it's going to be okay, at least in 2021. Now, if by the end of this year Larson has still not found any sponsorship, that might be a concern. That multi-year contract could end up getting bought out. We could see something change after a year or so. But as far as 2021 is concerned, Kyle Larson is going to be in the best Cup Series car he's ever been in. He's going to have the chance to win multiple races. And if he does all that, if he runs up front, if he contends, I think he'll catch some sponsors' attention. But I saw on social media this week, Hendrick Motorsports posting photos of Larson in just a blank Hendrick Motorsports t-shirt, no sponsors to be seen. Some of y'all said, oh, once January 1st, 2021 hits, the new year, when he's officially reinstated, oh, then they're going to announce sponsors. I know we're just a couple days into 2021, but those announcements have not yet come, and we're not even seeing any logos in any of these promotional photos. So, guys, he has not signed any new sponsors for 2021 yet. I think there will be some logos on the car, whether they be Chevy partners or what have you. The car's not going to be blank. It'll at least have HendrickCars.com. I think sponsors will land with Larson at some point this year. I don't think he lands that one. He's not going to land an ally, someone who signs on for the vast majority of the season. That's not going to happen this year. That may never happen again as long as Kyle Larson races, but he will land some sponsors this year. Don't worry just yet. He's going to be in a great car. He's going to have a chance to win. They're not going to run 30th because he doesn't have a logo on the car. Trust me on that. Anyway, also in the news last week, Phoenix Racing is back, apparently. Y'all remember Phoenix Racing, right? I actually recently watched Brock Beard's Rise of the Field Fillers video he did just a couple weeks ago on Phoenix Racing. Well, last week it was announced Phoenix Racing is returning, not to NASCAR, but reportedly James Finch will field pro and super late model cars for his son, Jake Finch. His son is a teenager, I believe, just getting his racing career really started, so that is exciting though. Phoenix Racing, you'll remember, got their one and only Cup Series win in 2009. Coincidentally, it was also Brad Keselowski's first career win. We've all seen the replay of that finish countless times. Edwards goes flipping. It was craziness. But if you haven't seen Brock Beard's video on the history, and it is pretty much a complete history of Phoenix Racing, I encourage you to go check it out. Definitely an interesting story and cool to see James Finch still have that passion for racing, I suppose. The last story I want to talk about, I know we're bouncing all over the place. This is what happens when I don't do an Out of the Groove since last year. Okay, I'm sorry. But another Cup Series driver is racing in the Rolex 24. With all these road courses, we have 7 points-paying road course races on the Cup schedule this year. These guys got to get some more laps. They got to get some practice turning right. What better chance to do it than by racing long stints through the middle of the night in the Rolex 24? Austin Dillon is the latest driver to join the lineup. He's racing for a Rick Ware-backed entry. It's under the Rick Ware Racing Eurasia banner. He'll be racing in the Le Mans Prototype 2 class. Cody Ware will also be one of the drivers on his team, another NASCAR name you'll probably recognize. I don't know enough about IMSA or sports car racing to know if that's a super competitive ride, if he's going to have a chance at the class win at least or anything like that. I don't know if any of that's likely, but I respect Austin Dillon for putting in some extra work this offseason. I've commended Chase Elliott for his extremely busy off-season schedule, racing dirt, racing the Rolex 24, racing the Snowball Derby, and many other things in between. Very happy to see Austin Dillon trying out some different race cars as well. So that now makes 3 Cup Series stars entered in the Rolex 24. Jimmy Johnson, of course, Chase Elliott, and now Austin Dillon. Gives us NASCAR fans plenty of reasons to stay up late and watch the Rolex 24 this year. I'm extremely intrigued. I always try to watch at least the daytime portions of the Rolex 24 each year, but this year I might be incentivized to stay up a little past my bedtime, depending on who's on the track. Should be a cool race. Let me know how you think Austin Dillon will do. If you're an IMSA fan, if you follow it much more closely than I do, let me know down in the comments how competitive you think that ride is, what you expect from Austin Dillon. Let me know which of those Cup Series drivers you think will fare the best in the Rolex X24. I'd be curious to hear those takes down in the comments. What do you think of NASCAR paint schemes today compared to the 1990s? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I look forward to reading your responses, but that's all I've got. First official episode of Out of the Groove here in 2021. Not my first video of the new year. That honor goes to the Downhill Diecast Championship, the third episode. The conference semifinals premiered Friday afternoon. If you missed that episode, go check it out. I'm super proud of how these diecast racing videos have come out. Something completely new that I've never done before. I mean, I've done videos with diecast cars. If you've watched my channel for years, you know how I started playing with diecast cars, making those stop motion animations. This is a completely different beast, a completely different animal, but I'm really pleased with how these first 3 videos have come out. The championship race, the final round, will air later this week. Stay tuned for an official premiere day and time that will be determined very soon. And that is still not my big announcement that I have planned for later this month. So I'm teasing a lot of things right now. There's some big stuff to come. Like I said earlier, Out of the Groove is expanding, and I'm very excited about what 2021 holds for not only this show and this channel, but for NASCAR as well. It's a huge year. Some may say this is just a transition year till the next gen car, but with a completely overhauled schedule, now 2021 is going to be special. It's going to be memorable. So I'm very excited for what's in store in the new year. Thank you all for watching this video. As always, a big thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. I appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout 2020 and helping boost this channel into the new year. I greatly appreciate your support. More to come very, very soon. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video.